Have you ever walked into a room and felt invisible? Like nobody noticed you? Like your voice disappeared before you even spoke? Maybe you wanted to say something meaningful, but your mind froze. Your heart became heavy, and suddenly, silence felt safer than speaking. Most people think communication is a talent, something you are born with. But that is not true. Communication is a skill, and like every skill, it can be learned. It can be trained. It can completely change your life. Because the truth is simple. The people who connect well with others often unlock opportunities that many people never reach. Better friendships, better jobs, better relationships, more confidence, more influence, and a stronger presence in every room they enter. That is why the book, How to Talk to Anyone, became so powerful for millions of people around the world. This is not just a book about conversation. It is a guide to human connection, a guide to confidence, a guide to becoming unforgettable. Written by Leil Lowndes, this book explains simple psychological techniques that help ordinary people become socially confident and emotionally intelligent. And the best part? You do not need to become loud. You do not need to become fake. You do not need to change your personality. You simply learn how to make people feel comfortable around you. Because people may forget your words, but they never forget how you made them feel. And while you listen to this video, something else is happening too. You are improving your English naturally, sentence by sentence, idea by idea. Your listening becomes stronger, your vocabulary becomes clearer, and your confidence with English slowly grows without pressure. So today is not only about learning communication, it is about transformation, a quiet transformation happening inside your mind. Because one conversation, one moment of confidence, one powerful habit can completely change the direction of a life. Now let us begin with the first powerful lesson, the flooding smile. Most people smile too quickly, too automatically, and because of that, their smile feels empty. But truly confident people do something different. When they meet someone, they pause first. They look gently into the other person's eyes, and then slowly, naturally, a warm smile appears across their face. It feels real. It feels calm. It feels personal. And instantly the other person feels welcomed, safe, and important. This is called the flooding smile, and it quietly changes the emotional energy between two people. Because a real smile does not attack the moment. It arrives slowly, like sunlight entering a room. Imagine walking into an interview. The interviewer has already met many nervous people that day. Fast smiles, fast handshakes, fast talking. But you enter differently. You breathe. You make calm eye contact. And then, a slow, warm smile appears naturally, without force, without fear. Suddenly, you stand out, not because you spoke loudly, but because your energy felt peaceful. Confident people do not rush connection. They create it slowly, and people trust that feeling deeply. When you truly listen to someone, you become rare, because most people do not listen to understand. They listen only to reply. Their attention jumps everywhere. Their mind stays busy. But powerful communicators make people feel fully heard, and that changes everything. One of the strongest techniques in the book is called sticky eyes. It is simple, but incredibly powerful. When someone speaks to you, keep gentle eye contact a little longer than normal. Not aggressive, not uncomfortable, just calm, focused attention. Like their words actually matter to you. Because the truth is, most people spend their lives feeling ignored. They talk, but nobody truly listens. Everyone is distracted. Phones, notifications, thoughts, pressure, stress. But when someone finally feels seen, they remember that feeling deeply. Imagine being at a crowded gathering, noise everywhere, people interrupting each other, eyes constantly moving around the room. But then someone starts talking to you, and you stay present. Your eyes remain calm. Your attention does not wander. Your body stays relaxed. In that moment, the other person feels something powerful. They feel important. And many times, that feeling becomes stronger than the actual conversation itself. That is the hidden power of attention. Attention creates emotional connection, and emotional connection creates trust. Now let us go deeper. There is another communication habit that silently destroys presence: fidgeting. Small nervous movements may seem harmless, but they reveal insecurity before you even speak. Touching your face constantly, moving your feet, adjusting your clothes again and again, looking around nervously. These small habits send a message: I am uncomfortable, I am unsure, I need approval. But calm stillness sends the opposite message: I am grounded, I am relaxed, I belong here. Strong presence is often quiet, not loud, not dramatic, just calm, controlled energy. Imagine someone standing in front of a group. One person keeps shifting nervously, moving too much, speaking too fast. The other person stands calmly, breathes slowly, pauses naturally, and speaks with control. Who feels more powerful? Usually the calmer person. Because stillness creates authority, and people trust calm energy. This does not mean becoming emotionless. It simply means becoming comfortable with yourself, comfortable with silence, comfortable with space, comfortable with your own presence. That comfort changes how people experience you. Now here is something even deeper. Most conversations fail emotionally, not logically. People hear words, but ignore feelings. And that is why emotional connection matters so much. When someone says, I feel exhausted lately, most people respond with information. Yeah, life is busy. Same here. But emotionally intelligent people respond differently. They respond to the feeling underneath the words. They might say, that sounds really heavy. You have probably been carrying a lot inside. That small change creates emotional safety, because the person feels understood, not just answered. People do not open their hearts to people who only hear facts. They open their hearts to people who understand emotions. And when somebody feels emotionally safe around you, trust begins naturally. Think about your own life. The people you remember most are often not the smartest, not the richest, not the loudest. Usually, they are the people who made you feel comfortable being yourself. That is real communication power. And this next lesson may completely change how people remember you. Use their name with warmth. A person's name carries emotional meaning, identity, memory, recognition. When you remember someone's name and say it naturally during conversation, something powerful happens internally. They feel valued, not ignored, not forgotten, recognized. But the secret is not saying the name too much. The secret is saying it with calm, genuine energy. Imagine meeting someone named Daniel. Instead of quickly saying, nice to meet you, you pause slightly and say, Daniel. It is really good to meet you, simple, warm human. That moment feels different because names remind people that they matter individually. And in today's distracted world, feeling recognized is rare. The greatest communicators understand something important. Human beings are emotionally hungry, hungry for attention, hungry for understanding, hungry for connection. And the people who know how to give those feelings become unforgettable. Now think about this. Why do confident people often appear intelligent even before they say much? Because they are comfortable with silence. Most nervous people rush conversations. They fear pauses. They fear quiet moments, so they speak too quickly, too emotionally, too reactively. But powerful communicators pause before speaking, not because they are slow, but because they are intentional. That small pause creates calm authority. Imagine someone asks you a difficult question. Instead of reacting instantly, you breathe. You pause for 1 second. You think clearly. Then you answer calmly. Suddenly, your words feel more valuable, more mature, more powerful. Silence gives weight to words, and calm pauses make people listen more carefully. That is why emotionally intelligent people never fight silence. They use it. Because sometimes the pause speaks before the sentence even begins. If you want people to enjoy talking with you, learn to ask better questions. Because most conversations die quickly for one simple reason. The questions are too small. How are you? Good. How was your day? Fine. And then silence arrives again. But emotionally intelligent people know how to open doors instead of closing them. They ask questions that invite feelings, thoughts, stories, experiences. Instead of asking, "Did you enjoy your trip?" Ask slowly with curiosity. "What was the most memorable part of your trip?" Pause softly after the question. Give the listener emotional space. Instead of saying, "Do you like your job?" Ask with calm interest, "What made you choose this kind of work?" Now the conversation becomes human, alive, real. Because open questions give people space to express themselves, and expression creates connection. Everyone carries invisible stories inside them. Dreams, failures, memories, pain, excitement. But most people never get the chance to share those stories deeply. When you ask meaningful questions, you give people permission to open their world to you, and people naturally feel closer to those who make them feel heard. That is why curiosity feels attractive. Not fake curiosity, real curiosity. The kind that quietly says, "I genuinely want to understand you." Read this next part slower, with softer emotional energy, because this lesson is powerful. Human beings constantly mirror emotional energy without realizing it. If somebody feels nervous, fast, overwhelmed, and you respond with even more nervous energy, the conversation becomes uncomfortable. But emotionally strong people do something different. They match the other person's emotions gently, while still staying calm themselves. This creates emotional balance. Imagine someone speaking quickly because they are anxious. You smile softly, you nod calmly, and your voice stays slow and steady, without forcing anything. Pause naturally here. Let the moment breathe. Slowly their nervous system begins calming down, because emotions spread silently between people. Calm energy is contagious, and people feel safe around those who remain emotionally grounded. This does not mean pretending to be perfect. It means becoming emotionally stable enough to help others feel relaxed too. That kind of energy is rare, and rare energy naturally attracts people. Now slow down slightly again. This next lesson should feel deep and personal. Today people talk while checking phones, looking around, thinking about something else, physically present, mentally absent. And because of that, real connection becomes weaker and weaker. But when you give someone your full attention, without distraction, without impatience, without constantly looking away, something powerful happens. The other person feels important, not because of your words, but because of your presence. Presence is one of the strongest forms of respect. Imagine your friend telling you about something painful, and instead of interrupting, you stay still. Your eyes remain calm, your body relaxed. You listen fully. That experience becomes emotionally unforgettable, because deep down, every human being wants the same thing: to feel seen, to feel heard, to feel emotionally safe. And very few people know how to create that feeling anymore. That is why true listeners become unforgettable. Now read this next section with inspiring, calm confidence. Not loud, not dramatic, warm and powerful. Most people speak to others based only on who they are today, their fears, their weakness, their insecurity. But great communicators speak to the hidden potential inside people. They see strength before it fully appears. And when people feel that belief from you, something changes inside them. Imagine somebody doubting themselves, feeling small, feeling uncertain about life. Most people give average advice. Be careful. Maybe later. Do not risk too much. But emotionally powerful people say things like, "You are more capable than you realize. I can already see your potential. You have something strong inside you." Pause gently after these lines. Let the emotion land naturally, because words can become emotional fuel. Human beings slowly become the identity they hear repeatedly. Your words can either weaken somebody or awaken them. And people never forget those who helped them believe in themselves. That is real influence. Not control, not manipulation, but inspiration. the kind that quietly changes lives forever. Now let us talk about something deeper, something most people completely misunderstand. Compliments. Many people give surface compliments. Nice shirt. Nice car. You look good today. And while those words may sound kind, they disappear quickly because surface praise rarely touches the heart. But there is another kind of compliment, a deeper one, a powerful one, the kind that reaches someone's identity, their character, their soul. And people never forget it. Instead of saying, "You are smart," you might say, "And I really admire how calm you stay during difficult situations." That kind of emotional strength is rare. Can you feel the difference? One compliment praises appearance, the other praises identity. And identity-based compliments create emotional impact. Because deep down, people are not starving only for attention. They are starving to feel understood, to feel recognized for who they truly are inside. Now imagine somebody helping you during a stressful moment. Most people would simply say, "Thanks for helping me." But emotionally intelligent communicators go deeper. They say, "Not many people would have stayed that calm under pressure. You made things feel safe when everything felt chaotic." That says a lot about your character. Pause softly here, because that kind of sentence stays inside people for years. Words become memories, and emotional memories create connection. Now read this next section slower, more quietly, almost reflective, because this lesson carries emotional depth. Sometimes the most powerful communication is silence. Not advice, not motivation, not explanation, just presence. Most people become uncomfortable around silence. They rush to fill empty moments with words. But emotionally mature people understand something important. Some feelings do not need solutions immediately. Sometimes people simply need someone beside them. Without judgment, without interruption, without noise. Imagine your friend sitting beside you after a painful loss. They are emotionally broken. And instead of throwing motivational lines at them, you sit quietly, your energy calm, your presence gentle. Maybe you softly place your hand on their shoulder, and you say nothing for a moment. That silence becomes healing, because emotional safety often speaks louder than words. Real communication is not always about speaking beautifully. Sometimes it is about creating space where another human being feels safe enough to breathe again. Now shift the tone slightly. Read with calm confidence, like quiet strength. Most people enter rooms trying not to be noticed. Their shoulders tense, their eyes uncertain, their movements rushed. And without realizing it, their body tells the world, "I do not belong here." But socially powerful people carry themselves differently. Not arrogantly, not loudly, quietly, steadily, calmly. When they enter a room, they breathe deeply, walk naturally, lift their posture gently, and move without panic. Because confidence is often silent, and people feel that energy immediately. Imagine walking into a meeting. Instead of rushing nervously toward a chair, you slow down slightly. You breathe. You look around calmly, and you move with relaxed presence. You have not spoken yet, but people already feel something different about you. That is the power of body language. Your body speaks before your mouth ever does. And here is the beautiful part. Sometimes acting calm slowly teaches your mind to become calm too, because the brain listens to the body constantly. Now this final lesson may quietly change your social life forever. Read this next section with warm confidence. Gentle, natural, emotionally free. Walk into conversations assuming people already like you. Most social anxiety begins with one hidden fear. What if they reject me? What if they judge me? What if I embarrass myself? And those fearful thoughts silently damage your energy before the conversation even begins. Your smile becomes forced. Your body becomes tense. Your voice loses confidence. But imagine entering conversations with a completely different mindset. They probably already want to connect with me. They are probably happy to meet me. I do not need to earn permission to exist here. Suddenly, your energy changes. Your shoulders relax. Your smile feels natural. Your eye contact becomes warmer. And people respond differently because human beings mirror emotional energy constantly. If you act afraid of rejection, people feel uncertainty. But when you quietly feel accepted already, people naturally feel more comfortable around you. This does not mean arrogance. It means emotional security. And emotional security is deeply attractive. Because confident people do not beg for approval. They simply arrive with calm presence. And calm presence makes people feel safe. That is why the most magnetic people are often the most relaxed. Not the loudest, not the most perfect, just the most comfortable being themselves. There is one final lesson hidden underneath all great communication, and it may be the most important lesson of all. People do not remember every word you say. They remember the feeling you leave behind. That feeling becomes your presence, your energy, your emotional signature. Some people enter a room and create pressure. Others create comfort. Some people make others feel judged. Others make them feel understood. And the difference is rarely intelligence. It is emotional awareness, the ability to make another human being feel safe, seen, valued, and respected. That is the real secret behind powerful communication. Not manipulation, not pretending, not becoming someone fake, but learning how to connect honestly. Now read this next section slower, more reflective, like quiet wisdom. Most people spend years trying to become more interesting, but the truly unforgettable people focus on becoming more interested in others. They listen deeply, they observe carefully, they notice emotions, small changes in energy, hidden feelings behind words. And because of that, people naturally trust them. Imagine meeting someone after a difficult day. Everyone else talks about themselves, but you pause and ask softly, "You seem a little tired today. Are you doing okay?" That simple moment can change someone's entire emotional state. Because maybe nobody asked them that all day. Maybe nobody noticed. And suddenly, they feel less alone. That is the power of awareness. Tiny emotional moments create deep human connection. Now let us go even deeper. One of the strongest forms of confidence is emotional control. Not controlling others, controlling yourself. Your reactions, your tone, your energy. Emotionally weak people react instantly. They become angry quickly, defensive quickly, impatient quickly. But emotionally strong people pause first. They breathe first. They choose their response carefully. Because maturity is not about never feeling emotion, it is about learning how to guide emotion wisely. Imagine someone speaking to you rudely. Instead of reacting with instant anger, you stay calm. Your voice remains steady, and you respond without losing control. That moment changes the power of the entire interaction. Because calmness under pressure creates respect automatically, and people trust those who remain emotionally balanced during difficult moments. Now soften the tone again. Read gently, warmly, because this lesson is deeply human. Everybody you meet is carrying something invisible: stress, fear, loneliness, pressure, pain, dreams they never speak about, battles nobody sees. That is why kindness matters more than people realize. A small smile, a calm voice, a patient response, a moment of understanding. These things may feel small to you, but they can become unforgettable to somebody else. Never underestimate the emotional impact of simple kindness. Sometimes one conversation changes a person's entire week. Sometimes one sentence changes their confidence. Sometimes one moment of understanding changes their life. And many people are silently waiting for somebody who truly listens. Now read this next part with inspiring warmth, steady and hopeful. Communication is not only about speaking better English, not only about sounding smarter, not only about becoming more social, it is about becoming more human. Because every powerful conversation is really an emotional exchange. Energy moving between two people, trust building slowly, walls falling quietly, connection growing naturally. And the more emotionally safe people feel around you, the more your relationships begin changing. Friendships become deeper, conversations become easier, confidence becomes natural, and social anxiety slowly loses its power over your life. Not overnight, but step by step, conversation by conversation, moment by moment. That is how transformation really happens. Quietly, slowly, naturally. Now finish this final section with calm emotional strength, like peaceful confidence. You do not need to become perfect to connect with people. You do not need the perfect words. You do not need to become loud or extroverted or fake. You simply need presence, attention, patience, warmth, and the courage to stop hiding yourself from the world. Because somewhere in the future, there is a version of you who walks into rooms calmly, speaks naturally, connects easily, and no longer fears human interaction. That version of you is already growing, one conversation at a time. And maybe that transformation begins today. Now let us talk about something that silently destroys many relationships: the need to impress everyone. Most people enter conversations trying too hard, trying to sound smarter, funnier, more successful, more important. And without realizing it, they create pressure instead of connection. But truly confident people do something different. They relax. They stop performing. They stop chasing approval. And because of that, people feel comfortable around them. Real confidence does not scream for attention. It feels peaceful, natural, quietly strong. Imagine meeting someone who constantly interrupts, talks only about themselves, and always tries to prove something. That conversation feels exhausting. Now imagine someone calm, present, interested in you, comfortable with silence, comfortable with themselves. That person feels magnetic, because emotional safety is attractive. Now read this next section slower, with emotional softness, because this lesson changes friendships deeply. One of the greatest gifts you can give another human being is acceptance. Not trying to fix them immediately, not judging their personality, not making them feel small, just allowing them to feel human around you. Everybody has awkward moments. Everybody feels insecure sometimes. Everybody carries hidden fears. And when somebody realizes they can relax around you without pretending, trust begins growing naturally. That is why emotionally intelligent people do not attack weakness. They create safety around it. Imagine your friend struggling to explain something, words breaking apart, confidence disappearing. Most people become impatient, but emotionally aware people stay patient. They smile softly. They give space. And that patience quietly says, "Take your time. You are safe here." That feeling becomes unforgettable. Now shift the energy slightly. Read with thoughtful confidence. People are deeply influenced by emotional memory, not just information. That means people may forget your exact sentences, but they remember your energy clearly. How you looked at them, how calmly you listened, how safe they felt around you. That emotional memory becomes your identity in their mind. And this is why small moments matter so much. A warm greeting, a respectful tone, a calm reaction during stress, a sincere compliment. These tiny moments slowly build powerful relationships over time. Because trust is not created in one dramatic moment. It is created quietly, repeatedly, through emotional consistency. Now let us talk about another hidden communication skill: emotional patience. Many conversations become damaged because people react too quickly. They interrupt emotionally, defend themselves instantly, or speak before fully understanding the situation. But emotionally mature communicators slow themselves down internally. They listen fully first, they observe carefully, and then they respond with intention. That emotional patience creates wisdom. Imagine someone criticizing you unfairly. Instead of exploding emotionally, you pause, you breathe slowly, and you answer calmly. That calm response changes the emotional direction of the conversation completely. Because people expect emotional reactions, but calmness surprises them, and calmness creates respect. Now soften the tone again. Warm, human, reflective. Some people are lonely even while surrounded by others. Some people smile while silently struggling inside. Some people desperately want connection, but fear rejection too much to open up. That is why kindness matters more than most people realize. A simple conversation can become emotional healing for someone. A few sincere words can restore confidence. One calm interaction can reduce anxiety someone carried all day. Never underestimate the emotional power of human warmth. Because many people are not searching for perfection, they are searching for peace. Now read this next section with inspiring, calm energy, like gentle truth. The strongest communicators are not always the loudest people in the room. Often, they are the calmest, the most emotionally aware, the most present. They understand something powerful. Human beings connect emotionally before they connect logically. That means your energy often speaks before your words do. People feel your confidence, your tension, your calmness, your honesty, before they fully process your sentences. That is why inner peace changes communication so much. When your mind becomes calmer, your voice changes, your body language changes, your eye contact changes, and conversations begin flowing naturally. Not perfectly, but authentically. Now finish this section slowly, peacefully, with emotional confidence. You do not need to master every social skill immediately. You do not need to become fearless overnight. Growth happens gradually, conversation by conversation, experience by experience. Small improvements becoming life changes over time. And one day, without even realizing it, you will notice something beautiful. You walk into rooms more calmly. You speak without overthinking constantly. You connect more naturally. And the fear that once controlled you becomes weaker and weaker. Because confidence is not magic. It is practice, presence, and emotional growth repeated daily. That is how powerful communicators are truly created. And now, as this journey comes to an end, take a quiet moment to think about something important. Your life can change through communication. One conversation can open a new opportunity. One moment of confidence can create a friendship. One calm interaction can change how people see you forever. And sometimes, the only thing standing between isolation and connection is the courage to speak. Not perfectly, not brilliantly, just honestly. Because people are not searching for perfect human beings, they are searching for real human beings. People who listen, people who understand, people who make them feel emotionally safe. That is why communication is more than words. It is emotional energy. It is presence. It is the invisible feeling you leave behind after every interaction. Now read this next section slower, more emotional, like quiet reflection. Think about how many opportunities fear has already stolen from people. Friendships never started. Dreams never shared. Love never expressed. Ideas never spoken aloud. All because of the fear of judgment. But confidence is not something people are born with. Confidence is built. One small, brave moment at a time. One conversation at a time. One uncomfortable situation survived calmly. That is how social strength grows. Slowly, quietly, naturally. And the beautiful thing is this: You do not need to become somebody else. You do not need to copy loud personalities. You do not need to pretend to be fearless. Your calmness can become your strength. Your kindness can become your power. Your presence can become your influence. Because true charisma is not noise. It is emotional comfort, the ability to make people feel relaxed around you, understood around you, safe around you. And people never forget that feeling. Now soften the voice slightly, gentle, hopeful, human. Maybe today you still feel nervous in conversations sometimes. Maybe you still overthink your words. Maybe confidence still feels far away. That is okay. Growth does not happen in one night. Even powerful communicators were once uncertain versions of themselves. What matters is continuing, learning, practicing, trying again. Because every conversation teaches you something. Every interaction slowly shapes your future self. And one day, you will notice something beautiful. You no longer fear eye contact the same way. You no longer panic before speaking. You no longer feel invisible in every room. You begin trusting yourself more naturally. And the world begins responding differently to your energy. Because when you change internally, your communication changes externally too. Now finish with calm emotional strength. Slowly, peacefully. Remember this forever. People may forget your appearance. They may forget your exact words. But they will always remember how you made them feel. So walk into the world with presence. Speak with kindness. Listen with full attention. And never underestimate the quiet power of human connection. Because sometimes, a single conversation can change an entire life. And maybe, that new life begins with you today.